If you like the video, please consider supporting James Corp on Patreon. Hi, good evening everyone, and welcome to week 6 of our Symbaroum game. It's been a while, I think. Like, a while.
What is the passage of time in the Forest of
Well,
Davokar?
some people may be dead now that may have been watching.
Such is the way in the Forest of Davokar. But no, go on, James, sorry.
Yeah, we're back with the Mark of the Beast. I can't really remember what happened last time. Well, actually I do. We had a 2-hour long fight, I think. Was it 2 hours? Or something? I don't know.
I think it was standing at the back away from everything so that you didn't die. Whilst everyone else did stuff.
Yeah. But we have new ways to make other people shine. But yes, just let me know, James, and I can do a quick recap whenever you're ready. So.
Whatever. Whatever. I don't care. So we're going to go on the table, get people to introduce themselves. Don't forget, if you enjoy this at all, to like and subscribe. And also, if you're watching this on Twitch, hit that follow button. That's really appreciated. And if you're using Amazon Prime and you're not using your free Twitch subscription, you can use it on Twitch as a subscription. For fuck's sake, I'm just repeating words. Anyway, I'm James Chambers, and this is Chambers of Roleplay. And I play Malingo, who is a bit of a young lad. No one likes him. Like every character I make, no one likes my characters that I make. For some reason,
Scarn likes him.
Everyone hates his guts for some reason, even though he's done nothing to deserve the hate. But you know, that's because everyone hates me in real life. That's about it, really. He's crap in combat and he's crap in everything. So he hasn't had a chance to shine. And yeah, that's Malingo. Who should I go to? I'm going to go to Danny. Danny, why don't you introduce yourself and who you're playing?
Hey everybody, my name is Danny. I'm playing Sarux, the barbarian. It's a little bit of a dark person, a little bit brutish in the sides, but he's, trying to make a living in this horrible world. So, yeah.
Thank you. J-Will.
I am playing as Revnia Orist, our Ambrian Templar. Steadfast in her ways, she of course does not like Maligno. And is set out to do what she believes to be right, which is not necessarily the same as what many of the other Templars believe to be right at the moment.
Thank you, Philip.
You're muted, Philip.
Yeah, sorry, I'm muted. I'm Philip, and I'm playing Ogle Goggle, a goblin with a little sheep. And I have a helper today to play a sheep, so it's fine. And last time I had a bit of corruption problem, so I got the claws. No.
Thank you.
How that goes.
Gus.
Yeah, Gus here, playing Elfgarn, the Ambrian hunter, who last time out discovered a streak of nobility, which is kind of unusual for him when he stood up for a young girl who's being pursued by the guys that we ended up having a rumble with.
Thank you. And last but not least, the Games Master, the host with the most, Scott.
Hey there, I am Scott. I am going to be the game master for the session, and we are returning into the Mark of the Beast with all of these wonderful gents here. So, a quick recap. When we last left them, they had eventually made their way back to Thistle Hold. This was their final destination after making their way over the mountains and into Ambria. Shortly upon arrival, though, they got into a tussle with a group of men who were chasing down a little girl, accusing her of being a witch. Come to find out that this girl was being pursued by a Black Cloak named Balmello, which did ring a bell with our resident Templar, as Balmello is definitely one of the more harsh and violent Black Cloaks that she has heard of. Anyways, they all decided to be a little bit proceed righteously, and they helped this little girl. Fought off some of these men, may have killed one or two, chased most of them away, and to provide a bit of thanks, this little girl turned around and healed one of you, just thus proving that she might have a little bit of witchery in her. Thanking you and retreating into the alleyways of the city. Shortly after this, though, they noticed that during the fight, a small goblin was watching you, who waved you over to the side alley, provided you with a scroll case, telling you that this was for all of you to read. And I believe if I'm not sure, we either left him with his hand out looking for a tip, which I think what's it? Our goblin, Oleg, provided them with a little bit, and he had taken off. So you two, or not you two, you all, I believe, had decided you were going to make your way to Maligno's family tavern, the one that his uncle owns, to kind of gather yourselves together, get over the situation.
Can you remember what it was?
Into.
Mm-hmm. Can you remember what we named it? Because can't fucking remember what we called it.
Did I type it in the notes? I think I put it on I wrote it on a sticky, and I haven't put my stickies into my notebook yet. So let's go ahead and we'll give him a name now, or if someone in the chat wants to give him a name.
I think we had a name for the uncle when it was Uncle Vesper.
Uncle Vesper. There we go.
That's what's on James' character sheet.
There we are. Yes.
I don't remember the name of this place.
It's called the Prodded Goat.
Okay. So
the Prodded Goat Inn.
The Prodded Goat.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So
look, every game world I'm in has to have a prodded goat somewhere. It's usually a bit of a house of ill dispute, but you know.
Okay, so we're going to come into the scene, right? The adrenaline is starting to, to seep away. You've gathered your wits, and you're making your way to Uncle Vesper's tavern, the Prodded Goat. Taking a few back alleyways, and you can hear the shouts of the people that you've left behind and the clamoring of the town watch. But for the most part, you kind of get the sensation that people who were watching you, who helped you all helped save this little girl, they may or may not just kind of give a bit of information towards the city watch that they don't know who these people were. But you're not sure. As you make your way to the front of the Prodded Goat, and you now start to go inside. Before we begin, though, once you get inside, Oleg, what is your okay? What is your discreet?
Discreet 11.
11. Does that give you any bonuses?
I don't think so. I don't have any bonuses for it.
Okay, so what we need is for everyone to make a vigilant test.
Do we get any modifiers or negative shit?
Nope.
Well, I failed that well.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, Xerix and Elfgarn, as everyone's kind of clamoring into the tavern, And you take a look around. I mean, it's a decent sized tavern, nothing elegant. But we'll kind of let Maligno give a little bit more details on it. But you're still a little bit on in. The adrenaline's not all gone, so you're hypersensitive, and both of you, out of the kind of corner of your eye, notice something odd about Oleg. You can't really place it, but he seems, well, to be honest, uglier than normal.
Is that possible?
His the small canine teeth that the goblins have, on him it seems more pronounced, almost as if like some tusk type teeth are starting to appear. And his hands, his fingernails, his hands seem to be bigger. Not as the claws on his hands are more pronounced, threatening almost. It's off-putting, because this is not, you both know for a fact that he's changed somehow, and you're not really sure what caused it. So you can either keep it to yourselves, or you can proclaim it out loud if you think that's something your character might do. So
I think Saruk's gonna look at the goblin and think for a moment. He's about to talk, but then he's like, he's thinking like, is it just, maybe it's just me, and he goes ahead. Like he kind of like waves it like away, like
okay.
Maybe it's just I got hit by one of those dudes, and now I'm seeing a little bit worse.
Fair enough. Okay, and Elfgarn?
Thinking back to the fight we just had many weeks ago, Elfgarn got pretty abused in that fight. He was the one who was taking the hits, and I think Oleg was the one who basically kept him standing.
Okay.
So for that reason, and the fact that he likes the goblin, he's not going to say anything, because if that comes as a price for healing Elfgarn,
right,
then Elfgarn doesn't think it's his place to say anything about it. So
fair enough. Excellent. And then also, Oleg, you are aware of this now.
Yeah.
What same scenario, the adrenaline starts to seep away, and you kind of, if you can feel it on, in your hands and everything, that something has changed. With your background, you would be aware what's caused it. So for the moment, as far as if you think you can keep this hidden or try to disguise it or whatever, it might go away within a day's time. But not only are you, goblins, generally speaking, people kind of look down on goblins, but you're standing out now. You're not quite the background aspect that a lot of people treat goblins as you're kind of like front and center. So something to be aware of. But you're now safely inside the Prodded Goat. The door opens. You hear a bell tingle as you walk in, and James, you can see the familiar face of Uncle Vesper behind the bar. And he he hasn't noticed you yet, but there's a table, there's a bench table for you to sit at. There's a place at the bar. It's not that busy this time of day.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's quite a nice pub, I'd say. I'm going to say. It's probably, if you get really close, you probably notice it's a bit rough around the edges. It's a bit, there's definitely sawdust on the floor. There is floorboards, but there's sawdust on the floors. There's probably traces of blood in that sawdust. Maybe it gets a bit rough at night, but right now it's not that rough. There's like a darts board, if darts is a thing or whatever. There's a darts board at one end, and other such games that are available that usually end up in a fight, I reckon, because people are sore losers that come here. And I'm going to be like, Uncle, Uncle
Okay.
Vesper, it is I, Malingo, and I have my friends.
Okay. So the group of people he's talking to, they all turn their heads, and he kind of looks over them, and he goes, "Mally, little Mally, is that you? Oh, come over here and give your uncle a big old hug." And he kind of makes his way around the bar, and he kind of puts his hands on your shoulders. "Let me look at you. Oh, I apologize for not recognizing you sooner. That little cross-eyed thing you had going on when you were a child, it worked its way out again, huh? Did the horse
Fuck
kick you in
off.
the head again and fix it?"
Fuck all of you.
Hey. He's and he grabs you by the shoulders and gives you a big old shake, and hearty pat on the back, and says, "Sit down, sit down, sit down. I'm just joking with you." He's all, "So these are your friends of yours. You okay? You all look a bit, roughed up a bit. Did you new to Thistle Hold?" And no matter here.
I'll be like, yeah, we just crossed the what's the mountain called? We just crossed the pass.
The Titans.
Yeah, we just crossed the Titans from the other place where we came from. Fuck me, I can't remember. Yeah, that place.
You're supposed to
we
do the
come here.
research before.
We came here from the other place. A new start, you see, a new start. That's what we want, isn't it?
Okay.
I'll look at everyone. I'll look at everyone else. These are all my friends. This is Ravina. This is Elfgarnian. This is Oakley, and this is Zarius.
Okay. All right. And he takes each one of you, grabs your hands and gives you a hearty two-handed handshake. Uncle Vesper, big old man, balding, giant beard. Looks like he might have been a somewhat of a fighting man back in his days, but right now he just a mountain of a barkeep. May have a little ogre in him, you never know. Or troll, I should say. But he greets you all, and he says, all right. Everybody just sit down, relax. A friend of Mally is a friend of mine. And he says, I'll be right back with drinks. So he kind of disappears, goes through a swinging door to the back to go get you some drinks. So while he's back there, you're now, you're either seated at the bar, or if you want to go sit down at the one of the bench tables. Oleg, you remember now that you still are holding on to that scroll case.
When we sit down, I'll put it on the table or bar.
Okay. So you're all sitting around where you're at within the tavern. So, and Oleg has placed the scroll case kind of just in the middle of everyone. So what do you do?
I'm going to prod the fire. I reckon we're sitting near the hearth, like near the fire. Because it's still cold in it. It's still quite, So so I'll just prod the fire.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And what will probably happen is a spark will fly out, catch the scroll on fire, and that's it. Game over. We'll just move on, yeah. And then you can all hate me even more.
Right. Well, you hear a shout from the back room saying, "Oi, make sure little Mally doesn't get near the fire. We don't want to have the same thing happen again at his aunt's house 20 years ago."
Fuck off.
Hey, you made him.
Everyone's horrible to me.
Oh, you'll have your time to shine. So there's a scroll case sitting between you all.
Who can read? Can we all read?
What's that? Mm-hmm.
All right.
As
I'll
far as I
read it
know.
then. If no one else is going to read it, I'll read it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll let Mally read it. It's, as we all guess if he's uncle.
Okay.
It's
Seems
a
only
scroll
fair.
case. We don't know what it is.
So
Are there any symbols on the case?
yeah, so the scroll case has, seems to be adorned. There's kind of a wax seal on there with a signet ring, a very flourished looking V. And if you kind of turn the lid of the scroll case, the wax cracks, and inside.
Is there a way we could cut the wax seal off so we can keep the so we can keep the symbol that's been used.
Sure. Absolutely. So if you kind of like peel it off or get it off with a knife, sure. So yeah, so you open it up, and inside is a rather small rolled up piece of paper. Do you pop it out?
Yeah, I'll shake it out onto the fire.
All right, and I'm going to provide to you a handout here. And who would like to volunteer to read it?
I'm reading it. I'm reading it. I'm going to read it. Oh okay, my god, it's really long. Oh my god, it's like a fucking novel.
Right. So the actual, the typed out words are below. Don't feel like you have to read the handout, but the handout is provided to you.
All right, so I'll be like, right. Right.
Dear Fiend.
Dear.
Sorry, go on.
Dear fuckwits. No, dear friends, if you're reading this, I'm dead. You don't know who I am, just as I don't know you in the common meaning of the word. What? But I know something about your faith. Since it is intertwined with my own, and with the bloody tracks left by the Flayer through our beautiful town, in short, you have appeared in my dream sight. Visions I have invoked with the help of rituals as part of my effort to solve the riddle of the murderous Flayer. What? What's a murderous Flayer?
So
we'll find out soon.
So okay. If you, so going back in a minute, you do recall when the townspeople started to gather around this little girl. When these Black Cloak soldiers were trying to gather her, some of them were making shouts or assumptions: "Is she the Flayer? She's just a little girl," and like, well, the Flayer could be anyone as far as we know. So you've heard the word, but you haven't really known anything about it.
Is this not the Flayer that is in the history of the game?
No. This.
There is some similar event when
there is
people. Okay.
Yeah, there is, but no, this is totally different. That's a different. It's I know what you mean, but no, this is something totally different. So yeah, no worries on that.
See, so the letter continues. It says, some months ago, an expedition returned to Thistle Hold. Aside from gold, they brought back the skull of a Symbaroum king, and the expedition leader paraded this distasteful trophy around many of the town's inns and taverns. Unfortunately, the treasure hunter also brought with them a horrible sickness, which claimed their lives one after the other. Some just disappeared. Others were hunted down by agents of the Iron Pact, and another few turned into abominations and were killed by watchmen or brave residents. Gorak, the leader, went into hiding and took the skull with him. Now, is this the guys that we encountered back across the path? Yes.
Yes. Two of the guys had mentioned this in one form or another. The ones that were taken either by the Black Cloak and the one that was killed. But yes, this most of this story you've heard relayed to you from those two already.
I'm going to look up at Azarius and go, oh, maybe your arrow didn't actually transform them into a horrible beast. People's memories are short in the hold, and since this new wave of murders began, carried out by the abominable Flayer, no one has linked the bloody deeds to Gorak's expedition. However, my vision reveals some kind of connection. After many frustrating dream sights, one thing is clear to me. There is some kind of association between the expedition and the skinning of our townsfolk. Alas, I also realise that's spelt with a Z, so they're obviously American. I realise that my own death was a crucial step towards solving the riddle. And so, my unfamiliar friends, by faith, are you. The hows and the whys are unintelligible to me, but hopefully you'll be able to figure them out. If we ever meet in the world beyond, you'll have to tell me everything about the events to come. Till then, I can but ask you to forgive me for placing this burden on your souls. What's ahead of you, I would not wish for my greatest enemies, let alone persons who likely would have been my friends, had I but live to greet them. Master Vernam? Vernam?
Burnham.
Oh.
I call it Burnham, but it can be Vernam.
It's spelled
Okay.
It's spelled this way. I'll throw it in chat. There we go. Vernam.
Does this Master Vernum ring any bells with anyone around the table? I'll look and ask that question at my Master Vernum.
Okay. No one here is part of the Ordo Magica, right? Or have any connections to it?
No.
No. So, not really. The name doesn't ring a bell, but it does to someone who has just brought your drinks while Maligno had finished reading this aloud. Uncle Vesper comes to you, starts setting down the beers, and he kind of like cocks his head a bit. He goes, "Oh, did you say old Master Verdum?"
Yes. He sent us a letter. See?
Oh, yeah. He's a wonderfully kind old gent. He's retired from the Ordo Magica, but he spends his days at his own private academy. He does tutorship for some of the the hoity-toity nobles around Thistle Hold, and also some of the younger Order Magic. But he likes to come around here every once in a while and slum it up and enjoys a drink, but we don't see him too much. Just maybe every pale moon he'll pop in every once in a while. But wonderful gent, and his so he sent you a letter.
Yeah.
Oh, well, interesting. Do you know him?
No.
Even more interesting. Well, I'm not one to get into anyone's business, but yeah, if you need to talk with Master Vernum, he's just we
according to this, he's dead.
Excuse me, Mally? He's what?
I said, well, according to this letter, he's dead. It says it right here. It says here, if you're reading this, I am dead.
This doesn't prevent us with speaking with him, so it's fine.
He kind of looks at you, kind of a little cock-headed again, and just goes, "Oh, Mally, you and your silly practical jokes."
I'll fucking put the letter in his face and go, read the top line.
He's all, I can't read. Enjoy your ales, lads.
I'll ask Vesper.
Rude, man. So rude.
When was the last time you saw Master Vernum?
Oh, it's easily been a few weeks. Like I said, he just pops in here every once in a while. Usually he comes in here looking for information. He's a very inquisitive man, and sometimes the other others who practice magic, we won't speak their names in here, may come in here and have enjoy a drink every once in a while, and he'll sit here and chat with them.
I think I'll be like, I think it's that dartboard that does it.
So he kind of, so as he's starting to walk away, he turns to you and says, "Well, if this isn't one of your jokes, Mally, you might want to just go over to his academy and just let him know that somebody's passing around horrible rumors about him, because these things can get out of hand if you're not careful." And he goes, "Food? Anyone hungry?"
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I could murder a good breakfast or whatever.
And
Can
so
we? I also ask. I'll be like, do we want to rent some rooms?
Yeah.
I'll be like, can we?
Can
Can we rent some rooms from you, Uncle?
You don't rent rooms for goblins here.
And that's not a problem. He'll definitely set you up. Just wondering if you were looking at if you wanted to do it by the day, or if you're going to be here for any length of time.
Oh, I think we're going to be here for a while.
Okay.
We don't know. Maybe we're gonna go and explore the Davokar forest, or?
Okay. Fair enough. So.
Well, it'd be good to have like a place we can come back to and like, keep stuff safe, right?
I don't feel any stuff will be safe here, but okay.
All right, let's see here. So he says, I'll he says for you all, we'll cut you a deal. It'll be normally it's $1 shilling per day, but I'll throw in 2 meals with that. So it's shilling each per day, 2 meals a day. You know, maybe the occasional discount depending on what your bar tab is, but you know, I like to tally things up at the end of the week.
By the
So, does
way,
that work?
how much fauna should I have? Because I vaguely remember Jable saying you didn't get 55 because you didn't go there and come back.
We got 50 because we didn't get 100. I think everyone else got.
Oh, okay, because I got 55. All right, well, I'm going to let the people that fucking earn stupid amounts of money pay for the fucking rooms.
I'll
Okay,
pay for my
so-
own room.
I'm
All right.
just shocked that Mally has to pay for a room at his favourite uncle's.
Yeah, but you can't.
It's probably
Yeah,
because he
but-
set the house on fire. Is that why he's not giving him a...
Well, no, well, you
Freebie.
can't. Yeah, but you can't. Yeah, but that's not fair on your uncle, though, is it? That's like taking business away from it. That's naughty. I mean, he's giving us a deal good enough. I don't need free handouts. You know what I mean? I'm just about capable of like doing my own shit.
So you don't need free handouts, but you're saying we have to pay for you.
No, I'll pay for my own room.
You have the equivalent of 550 shillings. You've got enough.
I'm gonna pay for a fortnight then. How much is a fortnight? So if it's a shilling a night, that's 14 shillings. How many shillings are in a fauna?
They're intense.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I go
It's Thaler, shilling, and Orteg.
14, that leaves me 6 shillings. Okay, I'll go. All right, I'll give him 14 and go 2 weeks, a fortnight, if that's good.
Oh, absolutely. There's plenty of room upstairs. You know, not a lot of privacy, but there's plenty of room. So he disappears. He goes to the back and he says, "I'll be out in a bit with your meals, lads." And so we'll kind of cut back to everyone at the table while your meals are being prepared.
So, do you think we should look into this? Do you think
What
this
is
is
that?
real? This
Well,
Master Vern?
Well, let's go see if he's. Well, after we've eaten, let's go see if he's alive or dead.
That's a good place to start. I would agree.
And have a talk with him.
Well, if he's alive, we'll have a talk. If he's dead,
We will
Probably
have
still
a
have
talk.
a talk with him.
oh, okay.
Well, I'm sure Oleg could do something about that.
And just so you know, Oleg, you don't know the actual ritual, but you are familiar with which rituals such as these that can allow you to go into a dream state and either find out information from the ether or even see into the future. So this is not anything that's abnormal or unaware to you, but it's a very powerful ritual and concerning because what he speaks of here usually can't be changed except by a powerful intervention or magic. So,
Okay.
and once again, information that you know of personally, so you can choose to share it or keep it to yourself by now.
I'll try and explain to everyone
Okay.
what kind of magic it is.
All right.
Okay.
So are you going to wait for your meals and go, or are you going to?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
We'll-
never
Alright.
put off food.
All right. So we're just going to kind of like, fade out as your meals are being served to you and you guys are eating. And then we'll kind of cut back in to where you're walking down the streets of Davakar from I'm sorry, not Davakar, the streets of Thistle Hold. I'm going to pull up the map of Thistle Hold for you so you can get an idea of where.
Dafakar's Blades in the Dark, isn't it?
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Sunday, James. I'm tired. All right, so there should be on the map. There should be in the farther right-hand corner the academy with the location there. So that's where you're heading. Yes, exactly. And there's a key down there at the bottom. There's other sites and things that are listed in here. A lot of different areas that that you may or may not be familiar with, but these are the primary ones. So.
Where's the prodigy goat? That's the most important question.
I'll leave that up to James. James can pick a spot that, well, anywhere besides down here in the southern point But anywhere outside of there, he can throw the prodded goat. So feel free to put an X or a square, and we can add it to the map. But for now, you guys are making your way through the streets, and following the directions provided to you by Uncle Vesper. It's pretty much a clear.
I reckon.
Yep.
I reckon it's on that corner.
Okay.
Which corner? There.
Where the yellow is. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. So as you're walking down the street, you make your way past, the Park of the Elders, and then kind of strewn past the Sun Temple, where if Revnia wants to go in for a tithing or self-flagellation. I don't really know what they're into. You're welcome to, but the streets are wide open. As mentioned when you arrived, this Thistle Hold is clean, at least in its appearance, not very crowded, well managed, and it's not an old city. But this is not going to require a roll. It almost seems disconcerting to the point how perfect it is. Like there might be something hiding behind it. Almost like when you go, this will take you out of the game for a minute, but kind of like if you go to some place like Disneyland or an amusement park, things just look a little bit too perfect. In the background, other things may be going on. So you make your way to this academy. So we're going to move you back from the map and just onto here just to make things a little bit easier. And here we are. So you notice that there's a tall and narrow or tall building kind of like jutting up higher than the other smaller buildings around of it. It's several stories tall. You can see that there's, that there must be some sort of entry hall, offices. This is a school. It's not just a small little apartment, but a school that's labeled out in front. There's a sign that says, Master Vesper's Academy, available for private tutorship and other classes. And you come to the door of the academy, and it's currently locked, or I'm currently shut. Okay. You give a knock, and no one answers immediately, but you can kind of almost hear a woman's voice, kind of faintly, give a notice of hold on, like she's approaching the door. And then a few seconds later, you kind of hear the unlatching of the locks, and then the door kind of slowly creaks open, and you see a pale-looking woman kind of looking through, the crack in the door. She kind of, who's in the front? I should say, who's actually knocking and standing in front of all of you?
Well, I just knocked, so
Okay.
I imagine I'd be near the door. So yeah,
Okay.
me unfortunately.
Right. So she kind of looks you up and down, and she goes, "Can I help you?"
Greetings, madam. We're wondering if it was possible to pay our respects to Master Vernum. He is a somewhat friend of ours.
And she kind of glances behind you, and she looks at the rest of the party, and she goes, I'm sorry, but Master Vernum's currently indisposed, and unavailable at the moment. Everyone give me or actually, Alfcorn, give me a vigilant roll. And this will be with at least a +2. Oh, did it go through?
Yep, success.
Oh, hold on. It looks like it booted me out for a second. Just a second here. There it goes. Okay. She's visibly disturbed, more than just the sight of you. Something seems to have rattled her. She's not pale due to lack of sunlight. She's pale as if all of the blood has left her face.
Alfgorn isn't exactly the best people person.
Mm-hmm.
Social niceties, not really his strength. So he's just going to kind of take half a step back and look around the rest of the party, maybe to Revnia and little Mally, and sort of look at them almost as to say, do one of you want to take over? I'm not really comfortable doing this.
Certainly. I don't. What's social?
I'm sorry?
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to figure out if I'm
what's
actually
social?
any good at it. I don't know if I've got like high cunning. I don't know what cunning is used for.
Persuasive might be useful.
I don't
Maybe.
have persuasive is not as high as you think. Good day, madam. The name's Malingo. My friends call me Mally. We actually been we actually received a letter from whatever his face. What's his face?
Master Vernum.
Mr. Vernum. Today, in fact, we have come to seek him out about this letter that we've received.
Okay, and if she can get even more pale, it looks like she does as soon as you mention the letter, and her lower lip starts to quiver a bit, and like
I would slap her.
Yeah. No. And yes, GMs can say no. So her lip starts to quiver, and she goes,
Madam, what appears to why has the cat got your tongue?
She's all, so you're the ones that received the letter. I really didn't. I know Master Vernum has his ways with those magical things, but I had no idea that these things could be. She's like, and then she kind of says, okay, hold on, and she opens the door all the way and says, come in, quickly.
Yeah, rush inside.
Okay. And as the last of you enter, she closes the door, and a set of locks are set again on the door. She turns around to the rest of you, and clears her throat a bit, kind of straightens herself up. She says, so you have the master's letter. So, may I see it?
I've got it. Who's got it? I guess I've got it, haven't I?
Okay. All right. And she looks at the letter, and she immediately says, this is the letter. This is definitely the letter. So, okay, I guess. Hands the letter back to you, and she says, follow me, please. And she starts heading back towards past the entryway and down through a set of hallways. Do you follow her?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I will let everyone else go through, and then I'll close the door behind me.
Okay.
Does she still seem to be in the same state of mind?
Yes. Yeah. She's very fidgety. She's constantly looking back to make sure you're following her, but she, as she does go down the hallways, she doesn't say anything. She just kind of gives a general direction as you're making your way past, various doors. Some open, some close. You can see that some of these are study halls.
Don't all doors open and close?
Yeah. Well, some are closed to you.
Oh, okay.
Some are.
I thought you meant some open and some don't open.
Right. That's a. But yeah, so they. You notice though that as you're making your way down, something is odd because this is an academy. This is a place of learning and study, but there's no movement. There's no students. It seems empty. She gets to a set of stairs, and she beckons you to follow her up the stairs, and you continue up several flights till you get to the top. and she comes in front of a wooden door, and this door is closed. And she turns to you and says, "Okay, what you're about to witness is horrifying." And you can see her eyes are starting to well up as she's almost, about
Well, I'm gonna
ready
be
to
like
start.
before. I'm gonna be like, well, before you open the door, if you wish to walk away and go do something else, and we will enter the room, and you don't have to see what's in there.
And she says, and she takes a look at you and says, I've already seen it. I found it earlier, right before you made your way here." And she says, "All right." She kind of closes her eyes, but still swings the
I'll
door
take
open.
the. I'll take the. I'll hold the door and go.
Okay.
Why don't you go put the kettle on?
Okay. So as the door swings open,
No. I'll
she.
stop the door
Yep,
from singing.
okay,
I'll
that's fine.
stop the door
Oh,
from singing open.
she's doing this. She's like opening
Yeah,
the
but
door.
I'm sent. I'm
Yep.
going. I'm going to be like, why don't you go make a cup of tea, and
Okay.
we'll come. Just tell us where you are or where the kitchen is, and we'll come to you once you've finished our business for a nice cup of whatever, tea, coffee, whatever they drink, whatever hot sort of beverage they drink here.
Fair enough. So she thanks you. She makes her way down. She gives you, she tells you where the kitchen is, and she says, "If there's anything at all you need from me."
I'm going to get my little
Yep.
hat out.
Right. And then she disappears down the stairs. So the
Right.
door is ajar, but it hasn't opened yet.
I'm going to hand everyone. I've got a hat with me. I'm going to hand it to everyone. I've got a hat. I've got 5 hats. I'm going to hand
Okay.
everyone a hat. I'll put it on.
Okay. Okay.
Dear stalkers.
All right. So who's going to open the door? It's
I'll open
ajar.
it. I've got my hand on the door. So
Okay.
yeah, I will turn the jar into a door and open it.
Right. So the door swings open, and the first thing that catches your attention, Maligno, is blood. There's blood everywhere. What looks to be some sort of study, bookshelves, a desk, chair. There's windows overlooking the streets, but there's blood almost everywhere, as if it was just purposely thrown all over this room. But that's not the worst of it. Hanging upside down from the ceiling is the body of what might have been a man. You're not too sure because this person is entirely skinned. Its entrails and skin lies just below its head in a pile on the floor. And just the shock of it all. I mean, you've dealt with death before. You've been in battles. You've seen, the worst that men have. But this might go beyond anything most of you have witnessed, as far as any sort of horrible atrocities. And that's what you see.
Should I know if it's some kind of magic or
So,
ritual gone bad or something like that?
sorry, what was that, Philip?
Can I know if it is some ritual gone bad or magic or something like that?
Let's see here. Give me a second there. But what?
I have witchcraft. I don't have magic or spellcast.
Oh, that's fine. Hold on a second. Go. Oh. There we are. Okay. So first off, I just want to know, and we'll get to you first, Philip. But after Maligno opens this, do you all
I'll
go
puke
into the
up.
room?
I'll puke up outside the room. I'll just go. Bleh.
Okay. Okay. And does anyone not look in the room after they see what happens to Maligno?
He's softy.
No, I'll step in,
Okay.
dodge the vomit,
Right. Okay.
just stand there for a long moment, staring at the the carnage, the scene.
My
Can I accuse the lady?
Are you gonna go down the kitchen and start yelling at her and shaking her? What did you do?
Yeah.
Perfect. So you don't have medicus, do you, Philip?
I think no.
No. Does anybody have medicus?
Yes.
Oh, Danny, you have medicus?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have Medicus level 1 though.
That's fine. That's fine. So, all right. So let me deal with Philip first. I don't think, just looking at the body, Philip, Oleg, you don't have, well, I don't think you don't have beast lore abominations,
No.
do you? Now this is spoiling it, but to a degree, but this is what the game is asking of you. But so
I also have beast lore.
But specifically, do you have? Is it just general beast lore?
I have beast lore. Novice beast lore.
Okay, so just animals in general, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So okay, no worries. Okay, so yeah. So Oleg, other than just seeing this, your mind just can't make head or tail of it. I mean, your first inquiry was jumping. Could this have been some sort of ritual gone wrong? But as far as you can tell, you don't know of anything that would allow for something like this to get out of hand to this point. I mean, this person, this body, whoever this is hanging upside down from the ceiling. You're not familiar with any sort of ritual that has that kind of requirement. So, not saying that it couldn't be, but as far as you can tell, this is not. So, but Xerix. Give me a cunning roll, since you have medicus.
Okay.
And I'll give you a +1 with the medicus. So
Okay.
due to medicus.
+1? No, just 1.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. All right. So Xerix, we'll say that you've kind of moved past Oleg, as he's just kind of staring at this body, just kind of open jawed. It just looks like he's trying to make head or tail of it. But something, you notice something odd as you're kind of like starting to soak this in, as the atrocity has kind of passed you and you're kind of looking at it from a more medical perspective. You kind of glance at the body, and the first thing that you notice, that even though he's been, he's skinned and he's in a form, you lean over and you're taking a look at it. You can tell that his neck and his windpipe, his muscles are pushed in, and his windpipe looks like it's been crushed, which means that, as far as you can tell, there's a chance that he may have been strangled before the rest of this occurred. And there's the organs and everything laying on the floor below him with the skin. Do you go through that, or do you just leave it be for now?
Can I make out that if the lady that opened the door have the force to do this?
No, absolutely not. No,
No.
This is a small middle-aged woman.
Yeah.
I mean, she wouldn't have the strength to tie him up upside down, let alone maybe strangle him, and without him being completely passed out, or a fight or something else to help her. But just generally glancing at her,
Okay.
this is something that would be on her physically. So
yeah. I'm gonna take out my knife and I'm gonna start to look at to his entrails, but with the knife or something, like not really my hands, like moving pieces of organs and shit.
Okay. All right. So you kind of move it around. right? And as you're kind of going through it, a couple things you find odd. It's going to take you some time as you're doing this. So after I kind of give you this information, we'll move on to something else as the time goes by as you're poking
Should we
through
take a break?
Yeah, let me just give him this information and then we'll definitely take a break. So here's the thing that you find odd, Xerix. As you're going through the internal organs on the ground, his adrenal, thyroid, and pineal glands are all missing. And the one thing that you've learned from your the bit of medicus background that you have is that these precise glands are known to contain energies that counteract corruption. And then we'll take a break here.
Okay.
All right, we'll be back in 10 minutes, guys. Don't touch that dial.